Hello guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Football Fan Den UK. Sorry, I was going to say TV then, but UK. The channel's this is the first episode. Before we get stuck in, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to my lovely missus Becky for a massive assistance and help. Also to my cousin Lee and his lovely wife Sarah for their support and helping me out. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, this episode is basically just to getting a feel for the start talking to you guys in front of the camera. It's not something I'm used to, but hopefully give it a bit of time, and hopefully you guys will stick with me, and I'll get better at it. So the video today is about season review of the pre-season. So we can basically give you guys all the info you need about what your club's doing or what your rival club's doing. Hopefully that's going to be the one of the things you guys love about the channel. Sorry, I'm a bit warm, a bit nervous because first episode, first time talking to you guys in front of the camera. So, but yeah, so basically we're gonna go over what each club in the Premier League is doing for pre-season. Unfortunately, we can't do too much about the Scottish clubs because they've already started pre-season, and that is due to the fact that they've had to come back earlier because they've got European commitments for some of the Scottish teams. And I've not 100% checked, but I think they start their season a little bit before the Premier League, like the Championship does, I think. But I'll certainly check that out for future videos just to be sure. So we need to give a shout out to Rangers and Celtic because they kick off their season officially tonight. They've got fixtures, qualifying fixtures. Rangers are playing for a qualifier in the Europa League, and also Celtic are playing a qualifier for the Champions League. Now, for me personally, I have a bit of an issue with that, but we'll get to that in future videos. My issue with it is the fact that just to touch on it briefly, basically, is that I don't think it's fair that the Scottish team should have to come back so early to kick off their season, because it's a bit of a disadvantage for the clubs in Scotland. We all know that the Scottish League's not great in respect of its prowess, however you want to word it. But basically, we'll touch on that a bit further in a future video. So so Celtic tonight are kicking off against. Sorry, I'm looking at the information I've got in front of me. They kick off tonight against Sarajevo. I think it's called Sarajevo, Bosnian team, and are playing away for the first leg. And they kick off at 6:45 p.m. The stadium they're playing in, I believe, and I invite you to laugh at me with some of the pronunciations I'm going to have to get through with some of these grounds, particularly in the pre-season friendlies that some of the UK teams are playing in the Premier League team specifically, because I am English, so obviously trying to pronounce some of these Chinese stadiums and Japanese stadiums and what have you is a bit gob and nostrils, shall we say. But anyway, so yeah, Celtic playing Sarajevo away, which is a Bosnian team, as I said. That's the first leg, and the venue for that, I believe, is a stadium called Asmir Faravic. And that is where Bosnia and Herzegovina normally play. Now they've got that to play, and Rangers are kicking off a bit earlier. They are playing in let me get this right. They're playing in Gibraltar, and they're playing against St. Joseph's. So they're kicking off probably about the time I'm getting this video onto YouTube for you guys. And they're playing at the Victoria Stadium. and the kickoff is 4:55. And like I said, they're probably well underway by the time you guys see this video. So yeah, basically, good luck to both Celtic and Rangers. Let's hope they can get the job done. I always think, and I think most fans think, that playing the away game makes things a little bit easier for trying to qualify. It doesn't always work out like that, but it does. It can be an advantage if you can get it to work in your favour as a club. So yeah, good luck to Celtic and Rangers. Let's hope they can get a couple of goals and go back to their respective stadiums with an advantage. So yeah. So anyway. So that's them out the way. Later on in the week, we also have some of the other Scottish teams playing in the UEFA Cup. We'll cover that on another video. And that's about it, I think, for now, for the UEFA Cup and Champions League. So we'll move on to the Premier League. And the pre-season friendlies that the Premier League teams have got. We'll start with Aston Villa. They are travelling over to America for their first game, and they are playing Minnesota United, and that is played on the 18th. I believe the time in the UK when they're playing will be at 1 a.m. And they're playing in the Allianz Field, St. Paul's, Minnesota. Apparently the capacity for that ground is about 19,000. The stadium opened in April 2019, so it is a new stadium. So hopefully, I'm not sure how many times Aston Villa have been to America. But that should be good for them to go and experience a different country and a different atmosphere. Excuse me. They then come back to the UK and play in Shrewsbury, and that is on the Sunday the 21st of July at 2 p.m. and that's an away game. They then also play after that on a Wednesday, which is against Walsall, and that's an away game too. And that's on the 24th of July, and that's at 7:45 p.m. Kickoff. And after that, they have then got another away game against Charlton Athletic. That's on the Wednesday, the 24th of July, at 7:45 p.m. Kickoff. Did I just say that one? No, I may have just said that one. Sorry, my mistake. Sorry, Charlton Athletic, and that's on Saturday the 27th of July. You'll have to excuse me if I'm making the odd mistake. Like I say, I'm brand new to this YouTube and talking in front of the camera, so hopefully as the videos go on, I'll get better at it. So yeah, they're playing against Charlton Athletic on the 27th of July, and that's a Saturday, and the kickoff is 3 p.m. and that is also an away game. Then they play their last friendly, I believe, against RB Leipzig, and that's on Saturday the 3rd of August. Kickoff will be at 3:30 UK time. I do believe that these times that I've got are the UK time. I've done a lot of research trying to get the accurate times, but obviously sometimes, specifically when they're playing so far away in America, China, places like that, it's been a bit difficult to get the exact time, because some of the websites that I've been researching on to get the information for you guys has been, shall we say, a bit unreliable for the times. So yeah, when they play at RB Leipzig, they're playing at the Red Bull Arena in Leipzig, and that, I believe, is the biggest stadium in the the old East Germany, if you like, and it seats 43,000. So yeah, so that's Aston Villa out the way. The next team up is Bournemouth. They're travelling to Spain. They're having a training camp in Murcia, I believe. Like I say, I might get some of the pronunciations not brilliant, but I'll try my best. I believe they're there from the 10th to the 17th of July, and they're playing. Sorry, not playing. They're the training facilities or ground where they're at is a place called La Manga Club Sports Resort, and I believe they're playing one friendly there to be arranged. So there's no team actually that's confirmed as of yet, but that's yet to be arranged. So so yeah, we'll obviously if we can find that out, I'll let you know. But I'm sure Bournemouth fans are well and truly on that, and are a bit more in the know than I am. So yeah, then they are travelling to Girona, playing Girona, and that is at the Estadio Olímpic Luis, I believe, and that is in Barcelona. So yeah, that's played on Saturday the 20th of July, and I believe the UK kickoff time is about 7 p.m. The stadium they're playing in seats about 60,000 people, so they will experience a big ground in Spain, or should I say a biggish ground in Spain. Then they come back to the UK and they will be playing West Brom away, and that is on Friday the 26th, and the kickoff for that is at 7:45 p.m. Then they also will play after that on the Saturday, and that will be against Brentford, and that is a 3 p.m. kickoff, and that is an away game also. They will also then play after that against. They will then return to their own ground and play Lazio, which is an Italian side, and that will be played on Friday the 2nd of August, and kickoff will be at 7:45 p.m. So yeah, excuse me, I'm getting a bit hot and bothered because, as I said, I'm brand new to this. Then they also have another home game, and that is against Lyon, which is a French team. And that will be played on Saturday the 3rd of August at 3:30 p.m. And that's their final pre-season friendly before they get their Premier League campaign underway. So yeah, on to the next team. The next team is Brighton. They're travelling to Austria for a training camp. I believe they're actually already there, so they'll be having intensive training, I'm sure, to get them up to speed. And they will play FC Liefering at the Sports Plaza, and that is their first pre-season friendly. Then they will return to the UK and play Crawley Town away on Friday the 19th of July at 7:45 p.m. And then we'll also then play another away game against Birmingham, and that is on Saturday the 27th of July at 3 p.m. Before they play the final friendly at home against Valencia, and that will be on Friday the 2nd of August at 7 p.m. So yeah, so that's the script for Brighton. Now we move on to Burnley. Burnley are travelling to Portugal for a training camp. No games confirmed, so I'm not sure if they will arrange something while they're out there. But as I could find out, like I said, I've done quite a bit of research trying to find out as much information for you guys, so you know what your team's doing. Obviously, I'm well aware that some of you will probably be in the know already. But for those of you that aren't, or for those of you that are rival fans, it's always, in my opinion, good to know what your rivals are doing, especially, you know, if you're playing them early on in the season, because you know what sort of build-up that they've done, and also how prepared they might be for the start of the season. So yeah, they're travelling to Portugal, as I said. And then they will, I'm sorry, I've just bear with me a second, I think they return back to the UK to play Crew Alexander, and that is on Oh right, sorry, yeah. Bear with me a second. They've got two games on the same day, which I've come across this with a couple of teams. So I'm not sure if they're going to play two, like the whole squad, and make it into two games, or whether it's because one game hasn't been confirmed, so they've arranged two games on the same date, same time. But they're playing Crew Alexander, or that's what it says, and Port Vale on the same day at the same time, and that would be Saturday the 20th of July, and kickoff is 3 p.m. Like I said, I was a bit confused with that because I don't understand why they've arranged to play two teams on the same day. But like I said, they could be doing it if they've, obviously we all know that most clubs don't have quite big squads to deal with the rigours of the season. So they may have arranged that, and obviously some of the other clubs have got the same, have come across the same issue, shall I say, where they've got dates for games on the same day at the same time, or at similar times on the same day. That could be because they're planning to split their squad in half and play half the squad in one game and half the squad in the other game. And if that is the case, then like I said, they're both away games for Burnley there against Crewe Alexandra and Port Vale. Then they will be playing on the Tuesday the 23rd of July, and kickoff for the next game will be 7:45, and that's against Fleetwood Town. And then they have another away game, which is against Wigan, and that will be on Saturday the 27th of July, and that kickoff will be 3 p.m. Then Burnley have a home game against Nice, which is a French team, and that is on Tuesday the 30th of July, and that will be a kickoff at 7:45 p.m. Then their final pre-season friendly is against Parma, and that's at Burnley's ground as well, and that is an Italian team, and that will be played on Saturday the 3rd of August at 3 p.m. So yeah, so that's Burnley anyway. Now to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are playing, Crystal Palace are in Switzerland for their training camp, pre-season training camp, and they are playing a friendly game against FC Luzern, I believe that says, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And that is again, like I said, that is on Tuesday the 9th of July at 7 p.m. kickoff UK time. And the seating capacity for the ground that they're playing in is 5,000, just over 5,000, 5,200, sorry. And the stadium they're playing in is a stadium called Tissot Arena, which is, by the sounds of it, it's a small ground. So I'm not like I said, I've done as much research for each club as I possibly can. So I'm not sure if that is a football arena or an athletics arena or whatever. But yeah, so at least they've got a game while they're out there, which is giving them some match fitness, if you like. Then they will be playing Young Boys on the on the Saturday the 13th of July, and that is 2 p.m. kickoff. And I believe the stadium is called the Newfield Inn. Is that right? Am I reading that correctly? In Bern, Switzerland. So obviously I'm presuming that's another game they're playing while they're out there. The seating capacity for that stadium is 14,000. And then after that, they return back to the UK and they will be playing Barnet. That will be played on Tuesday the 16th of July at 7:45 p.m. kickoff. That's an away game. Then they will be playing another away game against Nottingham Forest on Friday the 19th of July, and that is a 7:45 kickoff as well. Then they have another away game against Bromley on Saturday the 20th of July. Bromley, yeah. Saturday the 20th of July, and that's a 3 p.m. kickoff. And then they have another away game against Bristol City on Saturday the 27th of July, 3 p.m. kickoff. they've got quite a few away games, Crystal Palace. They also have another final away game against Wimbledon, and that is on Tuesday the 30th of July, and kick-off for that game will be 7:45 p.m. And then their final pre-season game is at their own ground, and that is against Hertha Berlin. Obviously Berlin gives you the clue that that's a German team, and that is played on Saturday the 3rd of August at 3 p.m. Sorry guys if I keep looking down, it's just I've got it all written down in front of me. As I said, I've done all the research to give you guys as much information about what your team is doing, during pre-season. So I do apologise. Like I say, when I get more used to talking in front of the camera, I will hopefully be looking a lot more at the camera, so please bear with me. And now we move on to Everton. Everton have already started their pre-season. They played Karabanga Sharks in Africa. They won that game. Sorry, they drew that game 1-1 and won it 4-3 on penalties. So congratulations to Everton for that one, because I believe that was a friendly of a sort, but it was for some sort of mediocre trophy or something of some description. But due to the amount of research I've had to do to give every club their fair crack of information, shall we say, for you guys, I wasn't able to find out exactly what the meaning of that game was. But I believe it was a friendly. But it's a bit like this international cup thing where it had a little bit of meaning. Then Everton will be now. So after that, I believe they've travelled to Switzerland, and they would be in Switzerland, and they're playing FC Sion. Obviously that's an away game because they're in Switzerland, and that's it on Sunday the 14th of July, and kickoff will be at 4:45 p.m. and the stadium they're playing in is called the Stade Saint-Marc, I believe, and Marco, Saint Marco. So yeah, and then they also have another game while they're out there, guys, and that is against AS Monaco, where most Premier League fans will be well aware of Monaco and who they are. That game is played on Friday the 19th of July, and that is a 5 p.m. kickoff. And then they return back to the UK, and they will be playing Wigan away, and that is on Wednesday the 24th of July, and that is a 7:45 kickoff. And then they're travelling to Germany, I believe, to play Seville on Saturday. Oh right, sorry, bear with me. Yeah, they've got two games arranged on the same date on the at different times though. This one, they've got a game arranged against Seville on Saturday the 27th of July, and a game against FSV Mainz 05, and that is the same date, Saturday the 27th, and the first game is arranged for 11 a.m. or I'm not sure if that's 11 a.m. I think that's, no, sorry, that is either an 11 a.m. kickoff or a 3 p.m. kickoff. I couldn't seem to pin down the time for that, guys. It's the same with the other game. Unfortunately, Everton's website wasn't very helpful with that. Most of the other websites have been quite helpful in getting the exact times, but Everton's wasn't particularly helpful on that particular with regards to that particular match. The other game is saying either a 4 p.m. kickoff or a 6 p.m. kickoff, and I believe that is played in Mainz. That game again in the Rhineland of Germany, and the stadium seats 34,000. So yeah, and then their final game is against SV Werder Bremen, if I pronounced that correctly, Werder Bremen, and that is on Saturday the 3rd of August at 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. I'm not sure. Like I say, some of the times for these games was really difficult to to get accurate times for when the games are kicking off. So yeah, I believe they're playing in Weser State. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Weser Stadium, Bremen, Germany, and apparently that stadium seats 42,000. So yes, guys. So that's the first batch of games out of the way. We'll now cover Leicester. Now, I couldn't find anything about Leicester travelling anywhere for any training camps, so I don't know if you guys can let me know in the comments whether Leicester have had anything arranged, but I couldn't find anything on their website or any other website for that matter suggesting that they was travelling away. I presume they might have done some sort of travel to Portugal or to Spain or Austria or something, because most Premier League clubs tend to arrange that, to go away and get a little bit of team bonding going on. So, but yeah, if they are travelling away, I couldn't find nothing about it, and I couldn't find nothing about any games that they might be playing outside of the UK. So yeah, so they've got basically the games I've got for them are all within the UK. They play Scunthorpe United, and that is on Tuesday the 16th of July, and that is a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Then they have another away game against Cheltenham, and that is on Saturday the 20th of July, and that is a 3 p.m. kickoff. Then they play another away game against Cambridge United, and that is on Tuesday the 23rd of July, and that is a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Then we come up against the same issue again. They have another 2 games arranged on the same date at exactly the same time. And them games are Rotherham United and Stoke City, both listed as away games. So like I said before, they could be where they've split the squad in half and play half the squad for one game and half squad the other game, or it could be due to the fact that they couldn't pin the respective club down to the fixture, so they arranged another fixture just in case. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure Leicester fans would be more in the know than I am, but I've done the best I can, guys, to give you the information. So I'm just bringing to you what fixtures I've been able to find out about. And then I believe their final game is at Leicester's ground, and that is against Atalanta, which is an Italian team, and that is to be played on Friday the 2nd of August, and that is a 7:45 p.m. kickoff. So yes, So yeah, guys. So that I think we're roughly about halfway through. I'm going to split the video into 2 parts to make sure that my camera can handle dingy, because like I say, I'm brand new to this, so I don't know if the camera will die halfway through of me chatting on to you guys. So we'll get to the other games and so basically that's why I'm going to split it into 2 parts, so that I know. I'm like I say, I'm still learning about the equipment and stuff, because I'm brand new to this, as I said earlier on. So yeah, guys. So hopefully you would join me in the second part, and we can go through the rest of the Premier League games, and we can also get to the bigger clubs, because there's a lot more information to cover about the bigger clubs in the Premier League. So yeah, guys, so hopefully this information is helpful to you as fans, and if you don't follow these particular teams, if it's not your club, as far as I'm concerned, as a football fan, it's always good to know what your rival clubs are doing, and how much preparation they've had, and whether they had plenty of preparation or whether they've not had a lot of preparation, because it could give the team that they're playing at the start of the season a bit of an edge if they've had more pre-season friendlies. But then again, it could also be a disadvantage. Obviously, we all know that some teams start the Premier League and get off the mark quite quickly, and some teams tend to get off the mark quite slowly. So yes, guys, so hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you do like what you're seeing to start with, I would appreciate it if you'd like to subscribe. That'd be great. I'm not going to pressure you. I don't believe in pressuring you, but hopefully you do. And hopefully you will subscribe, because like I say, the Football Fan Den is exactly what it says. It's about fans. I don't intend to be biased. Obviously, we've all got teams that we love. Well, we all love our own teams, obviously, but we have teams that we don't particularly like. But as a fan of football, I don't want to be biased to any team. I want to try and be as neutral as possible. And don't get me wrong, I have my team, and I also have teams that I'm not particularly keen on. But as bringing you the show, I intend to be as neutral as possible. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the first video, and hopefully I haven't bored you too much, or should I say rambled on with myself, and just trying to bring you guys as much information about the pre-season as possible. And hopefully you've liked. So yeah, hopefully you'll join me on the second video, and thanks a lot.